2-1 defeat here at Brighton, Keith. Seemed to be a game with two very different halves.
Hasn't every game we played been? It's proven to be really frustrating from a coaching staff's point of view. We're struggling to come to terms with why that's happening. Ask the girls to think about it and let us know if there's anything we can do differently ourselves. And talking about game intelligence, they sounds disrespectful, but I think they're probably the weakest team we've played, in our opinion. And certainly in the second half, I think we camped in their half and obviously had other opportunities, and it took an experienced goalkeeper like Byrne to keep them in the game and keep them in front. But the first half was probably the worst half we've seen, even worse than the couple of the friendlies. So really disappointed in the first half performance, and we've made them well aware of that. But trying to find out exactly why that is I'm not often lost for words, but I am.
So maybe a particular element of frustration that the goal came so early on and from a set piece?
Yes, absolutely. And I think keeper has to take responsibility for that. Whatever way you want to look at it. And speaking to Tony, the goalkeeping coach, she had every opportunity to come and deal with that with a good solid punch and not let the player get that. And I think there was hesitation, and of course that straight away you're on a little bit of a downer. The players are, we've gone behind, now what? But that's when the other players again have to take responsibility to get back into the game quicker, not to dwell on that and not lift their game, and obviously result in what was another sloppy goal, really the second one, because it was about reactions. There was a block and then a bounce and people reacting in slow motion in the first half. It really looked like we hadn't got out of bed. Again, I don't like using cliches, but that's the way it looked like. We hadn't got out of bed in the first half. We didn't wake up until the second half. And again, it's after another discussion in the dressing room. I can assure you, we gave them every piece of information we felt necessary to start the game right, including to drop off and press. And they weren't doing what we'd talked about. They weren't doing what we'd worked on Thursday in training. So it's really frustrating for us, because then you're asking our players capable of understanding what we're teaching and what we're saying. Second half, yes, all of a sudden. So why not the first half? It's just.
Is it maybe a good thing that now there's a game in 4 or 5 days' time where you can try and get that 90-minute performance?
We'll need to get a 90-minute performance, because I think potentially we're playing what I would believe the strongest team in the league in Donny Bells. I think for sure. So it will be a big test for some of these players. We'll probably have to rotate a couple. We've got a game on the Saturday as well, so we'll have to consider that fatigue element. But it's a massive game. But yeah, for me, I prefer it if games are coming thick and fast and all these big gaps. Because it's only really the competitive games that matter, that you find out true things about players. You don't always get it in friendlies. Even if you demand it, you don't always see it. But we saw it today. Again, we saw chalk and cheese, call it what you like, first half, second half.
Brilliant, thanks very much.
Okay.